pitches is able to go again the very next day. But then once you get up to that 60 mark, you need 2 days of rest, and pitching between 86 and 110, which as we saw in our last game, just as a sample size, that was the two starters. Both of them went at least into the fifth and one into the fourth or the fifth inning, and they both went over 85 pitches. That means you have to have 3 days of rest, and at this point in the tournament, that means you're not pitching again until the third game of the final.
Yeah, I mean, so it is kind of that interesting gamesmanship that you're looking at there. Of you kind of, especially when with your bullpen guys, you can see obviously probably going to pull the bullpen guys as early as possible just to make sure that they're not going over those limits. But with the starters, you can see that kind of being a thing where you think, okay, well, let's limit his pitches a little bit so he doesn't go over the marker. But at the same time, you got to win, especially the last two teams we did where it was loser, win or go home situation. So for them, obviously, it's. You are thinking, I guess, about future games and maybe trying to save the arms a little bit, but also in that moment, it's also your season's on the line. You go out there with who you've got, your starting pitcher, your best pitchers, and you let them get the game done.
Jensen will be your starting pitcher for Canyon View, and it appears that he is their ace. He's 5-3 on the season with 2.73 ERA. Has 9 appearances, but all those being with 8 of them being starts. And counting towards his record, he's the one with the most on the season total for Canyon View, and he's the one on the mound getting warmed up for Canyon View to start going. Last point of note between these two teams, Canyon View and Emery, they met twice during the course of the season. Canyon View won 11-1 in April and 12-1 a week later, and so the total season series, they lead 23-2 runs allowed total. But this is a different Emery team. This is the Emery team that got hot during the tournament, not necessarily the one that we saw earlier in April.
Yeah, we say that all the time too, especially when in football you typically less games. You probably only play certain teams one time, but we were talking about it a lot when we were calling basketball games a couple months ago. That you would get these games where it's like the first time these two teams play and it's a nail biter, and then all of a sudden the second game comes around and it's a blowout. Obviously, especially once you get later into the season, once you've seen a team a couple times, you understand how they play a little bit. You understand what they're trying to do. It's easier to kind of to play against them and to scout against them. But then also you become better yourself the more games that you play.
And here we go. Last game of the quarterfinals in the 3A state tournament. First pitch, strike. And off we go. Jensen gets the strike. And up to bat first for Emery will be number 6, Mason Stilson. Mentioned two, Mason Stilson and Wade Stilson, both seniors on this Emery squad.
Cousins.
With 1-1 count, swing and a miss by Stilson. Now at 1-2. Jensen throws it in, fouls it off. Goes towards the north end of this stadium, where University Parkway runs here in Provo, Utah. The wind has died down a little bit. We even had some snow in between games, but now the sun is back up and we're ready for this 7:15 start time. Lights are on at the stadium and we may need them by the end of this one. Even count, 2-2. High and out of the zone, that's a full count. Facing Mason Stilson. Jackson Jensen going deep into his bag against the first batter. Swing and a miss. First runner retired.
And that's great comeback there from the pitcher there from Jensen to be able to have you get to that 2-2 count and you throw that last pitch, the fifth pitch there of that at bat that kind of a little bit on the border, maybe a little bit high, and to be able to just come back and record that out pitch with the next pitch is great resilience.
Wade Stilson comes right up and on the first pitch he sees, hits it grounder into the outfield, sneaks through the gap and gets on base. And so now, one runner on, one out. And the third man up is Cade Larson. Plays catcher for this Emery squad. Love seeing a catcher that can hit. Big power swing, but a miss. First strike.
You mentioned a catcher that can hit. That was absolutely a power swing there. Was trying to drive that ball deep and get some movement on the base paths early. And again, one of those that a lot of catchers sometimes they're very patient at the plate, but not there. He was swinging for everything on that first pitch.
Larson gets a little piece of that one, but it fouls off back into the netting. Considering the temperature and the change of venues that we've had, still pretty decent showing out of the Canyon View and Emery fans and parents and everyone else here at Larry H. Miller Ballpark. Larson still swinging. And this one, you might have heard, came down hard on the awning that goes over top of the broadcast booth and the PA announcer, everything else at the stadium. Stilson's running, and the ball got past the catcher. He slides in safe with no contest. And so Wade Stilson has moved into scoring position as Larson still faces a 1-2 count, one out, and now a runner on second. Larson, as you look through his stats, truly feels like one of those 3-4 true outcome hitters, as he's got a lot of strikeouts, but has a pretty good slugging percentage to go along with it and get some extra base hits as well. But Larson second in the team in striking out. Hits the top shelf. Larson, good discipline, and it's full count, 3-2. And one out away. We're in the top of the first inning here in our quarterfinal ball game in the 3A state tournament. Canyon View and Emery. Canyon View designated home team despite wearing the powder blue, the colors. Emery's wearing all white. Larson swinging a miss. So 3 batters faced and 2 strikeouts already for Jackson Jensen. Cleanup hitter coming up. It is Gilbert, a junior for Emery. Trevin Gilbert plays a little pitcher and first base during the course of the season.
And going back to that last time, I give Larson a lot of credit. Found himself down 0-2 early and then was able to lay off a lot of high stuff. But that last high fastball there got him looking a little bit.
Wade thought about stealing and then came on back before Jackson Jensen even contested. The shortstop's cheating up a little bit to cover second. Jensen eyes him and then up and in. Catcher's able to get it up to the shortstop, but Stilson gets back safely. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs in the top of the first. And Wade Stilson still stands on second base, and he gets his lead. Gilbert at the plate. Big swing, miss. Wade's going for it, and the ball bounces right off third baseman's glove. Wade Stilson has stolen third. And so, now with 2 outs, runner has moved into third and even better scoring position if Gilbert can get any kind of base hit here. 1-1 count. Swing and a miss.
And obviously, Stilson on third base excluded here because obviously he saw 1 pitch, knocked a base hit into the outfield. But everyone else so far, it's been a lot of swing and misses here from Jensen. So kind of one of those pitchers either blowing them by or it's got a little bit of the movement on that pitch.
Gilbert gets a little bit of that one, but it fouls back into the net. Did a lot of talking about plate discipline, and then Emery comes out just swinging at just about anything that they can see. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jensen dirts it. Catcher covers. Now we're even up 2 apiece. 2-2 and 2 outs.
And you can see Wade Stilson there over on third. This whole inning, he's been doing everything he can to try and find a way to manufacture a run here.
Gilbert, high ball. There's plenty of leeway in foul territory, but not quite that much as it bounces in the bullpen and then bounces high and into BYU campus below us. Wade Stilson was at home by the time that even hit the bullpen. He can go 90 feet fast. Still, 2-2 count. And a swing at a pitch that wasn't even close. Jensen's able to retire the side on 3 swinging strikeouts. We'll be back with the bottom of the first inning as Canyon View will get up to bat right after this. You're listening to 3A State Tournament on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Expecting a bundle of joy? Beaver Valley Hospital's new maternity wing is your local haven for life's special deliveries. Combining cozy comfort with top-tier technology, they bring big city medical excellence to the heart of Beaver with that small-town touch Beaver Valley Hospital is known for. Their full-service community hospital is your health partner from inpatient care, emergency, surgical, maternity, physical therapy, home health, and hospice. Beaver Valley Hospital is proud to support Beaver High School.
My parents know nothing about gaming. I told them we needed Centricom Fiber because it's by far the fastest and most reliable internet speeds.
Hey bud, dinner's ready. Time to turn off the game box.
Alright, this round's almost over.
These days, kids do a lot of their homework online. They talk to their teachers, they receive assignments, and they do research, all from our kitchen table. That's why I chose Centricom Fiber Internet. They have the fastest and most reliable connection, so my kids can stay on top of their schoolwork.
Bottom of the first coming up, still 0-0 ball game in the quarterfinal of the 3A State Tournament. Emery is in the field, and Canyon View will be up to bat for the first time in the on-deck circle already as their leadoff hitter, Trenton Ludlow, for Canyon View. Been a good hitter during the course of the season. Ludlow gets on base and has a .406 batting average. Also with the most plate appearances, you'll get that whenever you're the leadoff hitter with 112 on the season. 3 home runs, 27 RBIs, is second on the team. Pitching today for the Emery Spartans. Getting the start is number 10, Turner Stoker, senior. He's gotten his arm warm, and we're ready to go. Stoker has a 3-3 record on the season, 4.01 ERA according to Max Preps. First pitch strike. Not exactly in the zone, but Ludlow was swinging no matter what he was seeing on that first pitch because it was into that left-handed batter box. Second pitch goes into the dirt for Stoker.
And again, we've seen that from both these teams so far. Once we're this late into the tournament, both teams right now, they're really trying to make noise early in this game and a lot of aggressive swings.
Little inside. Makes the count 2-1. Ludlow hits it. Shortstop cuts it down. Throw to first. In time, but he was off the bag, and so Ludlow comes in safe.
Say great job.
Good grab by the shortstop, but he led him just a little bit off the bag on the throw.
Exactly. I was going to say, Stilson did a great job of picking up that ball, but then, yeah, the throw over to first base pulls that baseman off just a little bit. And kind of a bang-bang play there. Had a chance at kind of a web gem, if you will. A really great play there, but ultimately just pulled the first baseman a little too far off the bag.
Up to bat for Canyon View is Asher Slack. On deck, it looks like Cameron Calvez. A hit, a little late on the swing, and it bounces into foul territory along the third base line. A couple right-handed pitchers we've seen, and all right-handed batters except for that leadoff man for Emery, Mason Stilson, I'll clarify. Good contact, gets it to short. 6, 4, 3, double play. And with one out already on the board, 1, 2, we're working our way through the order. Cameron Calvez now up to bat. So the shortstop getting work already. We mentioned Stilson's name, and he had a very close play on the first, but then makes it up with a beautiful turn. And a first pitch strike for Cameron Calvez. One count now. Calvez, we mentioned, leads the team with 7 home runs on the season. High pitch turns into ball 2. And that one hits the dirt. Now we're sitting at 3-1. Stoker getting a little behind on his count. And that one doesn't even make it to the dirt. As early on in this one, Stoker's starting to lose his control. Hitting him low. Brady Anderson is your cleanup hitter. And Calvez already comes off, and we have a pinch runner. Number 7, Cannon Williams, the sophomore, is in to run for Calvez. On deck, Zach Main, the sophomore for Canyon View.
And you mentioned with Calvez kind of like leading the team in a lot of stats, with hits and not quite batting average, but, just total hits, total RBIs, home runs, does a lot of that. Following him right behind it, Anderson doesn't quite have the same power, doesn't hit as many home runs, but another one really high on the team in RBIs and hits.
Anderson hits it right to the second baseman, gets it over to short for an out, and that'll retire the side as Canyon View leaves one on. And Emery gets out with a 0-0 on the score. Each team has allowed 1 hit, and we get into the top of the second right after this. You're listening on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
I'm Dr. Brandon Beck, and I'm one of the general surgeons at Central Valley Medical Center. One of the best parts of my job as a general surgeon is to interact with a wide variety of people. And many of those people have experienced chronic conditions or painful things for many years, and there is nothing better than helping them to work through those conditions and to have an improved quality of life. I'm happy to be back in Utah at Central Valley Medical Center serving the people in our community.
Honey's Marketplace invites you to experience their refreshing variety and signature items. Honey's Marketplace features a wide selection of camping supplies, a garden nursery, and fresh floral department. Experience fresh-baked artisan breads and pastries in their bakery, and sushi made fresh every day. Get all this with hometown service you deserve. Fresh, friendly, and close to home. Honey's Marketplace, 260 East, 300 South in Kanab.
Top of the second, Emery back up to bat, and Jackson Jensen getting warmed up on the mound. David, I don't know if you knew this about baseball, but you need 3 outs per inning in order to retire the side. And Jackson Jensen got there by throwing 3 strikeouts in that first inning. Quite a start to this quarterfinal game.
Yeah, very, very impressive, just top of the first there, because, again, you mentioned the 3 strikeouts. Two of the three were on 3-2 counts, and so the batters are doing a good job of kind of working the counts like we were mentioning, but they're also being very aggressive, swinging for power, and so doing a great job of throwing, not only just finding the zone, but finding the stuff that is, either too fast for them to catch up, or if you've got the right movement on it, that's kind of not the pitch that the batters are looking for. So doing an excellent job of just kind of getting them to swing and miss and get those 3 strikeouts.
First pitch strike for Jensen. Working against Hayden Christiansen. And now an even count, 1-1. Christiansen has 100 plate appearances on the year. Rips this one right into the glove of the second baseman, Chandler McClellan. Able to catch that. And another quick out for Canyon View. Now the pitcher up to bat for Emery. Number 10, Turner Stoker. Jensen's first is a little bit outside. And the second one a little more outside. Not a lot of help framing can do on that whenever it's outside the other batting box. Strike one. 2-1 count with one out here in the top of the second. Stoker can help himself as the opposing pitcher if he can get things going a little bit. Another ball thrown by Jensen.
Interesting there. Stoker kind of just backed off on that one a little bit. Didn't really stand his ground, which is, sometimes you see that. Sometimes some pitchers maybe aren't the best hitters, but Stoker does seem, looking at the stats, I'm looking at that swing there. You can tell that there's, you can tell it's not like he's afraid, not wanting to swing. Just on that one, maybe just didn't quite see it right. Kind of backed up a little bit. Got lucky that it ended up being outside the zone, but now has found himself in the 2-2 count.
After he fouls that one away, this one will get past the second baseman into the outfield, and Stoker will safely make it to base. And he trots off to the dugout. We get a pinch runner for Stoker. That's number 23, Peyton Nielsen, sophomore for Emery. Now up to bat, Hayden Abrams. List him as a utility hitter, and he's a junior. One out away so far as we work our way down this Emery lineup. Abrams a good extra base hitter. And gets solid contact here. This is high and away. And it'll be cleanly fielded. Number 23 trots on back to first base. And 2 outs away. Next up is number 11 for Emery. It is Peyton Alton. Swinging on that first pitch is Alton, but it was well outside. Strike one with 2 outs, 1 runner on. Peyton Alton, another senior on this Emery squad. Swinging again. Catcher loses a hold.
So far, this inning kind of a repeat of the first inning. Get the first batter out, second batter gets on, and then instantly gets back to work, moving down the next, the third and fourth batters of the inning. Already quick 0-2 hole here for Alton.
Contact here, that'll get to center field. And cleanly tracked and brought into the glove. That'll retire the side, and we have another scoreless inning. 0-0 ball game, bottom of the second coming up after this. You're listening to the 3A State Tournament on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
For more than 3 decades, the Intermountain Power Project has served as a model of regional energy cooperation, generating and transmitting coal-fueled electricity to a diverse group of municipal utilities and rural electric cooperatives with operations across 6 U.S. states. Now Intermountain Power is expanding its role as a regional energy hub, including utilizing renewable energy resources. Intermountain Power is proud to support and invest in our central Utah communities. Visit ipautah.com to learn more about IPP Renewed.
At CVMC Medical Clinics, our growing team of physicians and advanced providers are shaping what rural healthcare can be. With an array of specialties available in world-class orthopedic medicine, our footprint is always expanding to ensure our personalized approach is reaching as many as possible. Familiar faces and expert knowledge, all of our locations can offer your family full-spectrum care in one place. Available in Nephi, Santaquin, and Fountain Green. CVMC is the place where healthcare is made personal.
Emery versus Canyon View. It's still a 0-0 ball game. We're in the bottom of the second. Canyon View up to bat. First pitch by Stoker inside. Zach Main is able to take it. Sophomore for the Canyon View team. And it's a 1-0 count. Strike called there. Make it 1-1. A little high on pitch number 3 there as we move on to a 2-1 count. Main stays like a statue. Not trying that one. Stoker moving along. Reaching is Main. Bounces and called foul. Even count, 2-2. A little outside there as well for Stoker, makes the count full. Now, as opposed to Jackson Jensen's first inning of 3 outs and 3 strikeouts, Stoker, no strikeouts and also walked a man. Good swing here. Make it to the outfield. Fielded cleanly and brought back in. Worked out of that full count. And now up next to bat for Canyon View, it's number 4, Chandler McClellan.
And if you just wanted kind of a good representation of what weather is like in Utah, as we had the end of that first game that we were doing, starting to snow a little bit, snowing, and kind of it was we were before this game started up, and now all of a sudden here we are at bottom of the second, and we just last inning kind of had the second shortstop and third baseman kind of making sure that they've got some good sunglasses on for the sun that's starting to hit them right there. So just kind of the crazy weather that we've been dealing with this week and why we find ourselves here at BYU for this tournament.
McClellan waits and takes it to a 1-1 count with 1 out. No runners on for Canyon View thus far in the bottom of the second inning. Swing, right to the shortstop, play at first, and McClellan is out. So Stoker, again, not getting deep into the count, not getting those strikeouts, but he's able to force grounders and pops, and he's working through. Still a scoreless ball game for both teams. Emery so far with 2 hits, Canyon View with 1. A little high on Stoker's first pitch to Bo Stilson. Sorry, for Canyon View, it is Jake Thomas. Thomas swinging there, gets nothing. 1-1 count. Thomas fouls that one off and hits our little awning. Awning is probably underselling it. The Larry H. Miller Field, very professional, big stadium, and the covering over the broadcast booth is quite substantial. But still, a lot of balls make it over top of that net, and we hear them rolling around. Also, probably one of the bigger ballparks that any of these gentlemen have faced after playing 3A high school stadiums all year. Thomas swinging a miss on strike 3, and that'll retire the side. We'll be back with the top of the third here in the 3A state tournament. You're listening on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Jones & DeMille Engineering was founded in 1982 with a simple mission: to shape the quality of life where we live, work, and play. We are proud to serve by providing clean water, increasing access to nature and recreation, protecting homes from flooding, designing safe wastewater systems, and connecting our communities. It is our goal to create a place where people want to live, work, and enjoy life. Jones & DeMille Engineering, shaping the quality of life.
It all starts with a Chevy truck. Chevy Silverado with the Turbo Max engine and best-in-class standard torque. And Chevy Silverado HD with up to 14 available camera views. Do more in a Chevy truck. Get yours now.
Get $5,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Through 2, Emery has 2 hits and has left 2 runners on. It is still a 0-0 ball game between the Emery Spartans and the Kingview Falcons in the quarterfinals of the 3A state tournament. We're very gracious for Larry H. Miller Field and the Brigham Young University team for allowing us to pivot a little bit here on this tournament and play the quarterfinals here. Programming note to remember that all of the remainder of the games in the tournament will be played at Salt Lake Community College up at Slick. Both of these teams will be moving on in the bracket. Neither of them has suffered a loss. We do a double elimination style here at the high school level, and so even the loser of this game will be facing the winner of Grantsville Morgan, which preceded them, and that was a Morgan. So that game will be coming up in the next round of the tournament. Jensen getting back to work. Number 24 for Emery is up to bat. It's Trig Jensen. Trying to paint the corner, gets a little outside. It's a 2-2 count, even up. Trig Jensen, the freshman, starting, has a few extra base hits, hitting .280 on 93 plate appearances. Fastball comes in, and Jensen fouls it away off the net. Count still at 2-2. Jensen, one of the lefty batters, against the righty, Jackson Jensen. Up and in. Ball number 3. We have a full count for Jensen. Trig Jensen fouls it away, heading north. And that one fouled with power. Might make it to one of the cars driving along University Parkway. Three-two pitch, fouled off.
I'm noticing here with Trig Jensen, his batting stance, he is very in the batter's box. He is crowding the plate, and so he's able to kind of foul off a lot of these pitches that are kind of sitting over the plate. He's getting not quite to the barrel of it, but just the edge of the bat.
And he's scaring Jackson Jensen to the other side of the plate, which is what causes that walk right there. Ball 4 on the outside. It's Jackson Jensen's first walk. And up now, we're back to the top of the order. For the Emery Spartans, it's Mason Stilson back up to bat. Lefty and lefty, back-to-back lefties in the Emery lineup. Stilson big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. No outs, and he has a runner on first. David, I appreciate keeping stats during the course of this one, and so every so often I'll go to you to say, hey, what this guy do first time at bat or as we get further on. I have really good memory for what the first 3 guys in the order of Emery did because Jackson Jensen struck him out in order. Stilson being one of them. Stilson swings, and it sneaks off foul. Now a 1-2 count.
Didn't quite get a whole lot of barrel onto that ball, but still just about had enough kind of strength to be able to pull that and keep it in a little bit. Ultimately kind of chipped off to the side, goes foul, but nearly kind of off the not quite barreled up, but kind of the weak side of the bat. Still nearly was able to bloop a little single over into left field there.
Trig Jensen getting a healthy lead off. Stilson fouls another one up to the north side of the stadium. Count stays 1-2. Jackson Jensen checks first. Fastball in. Misses to the inside. Even up the count.
And as you mentioned, we're now in the second time through this order, so everyone has seen Jensen, at least once. And I'm noticing so far, obviously this being the first one, but just in this third inning, both batters so far have done an excellent job of taking these to long counts.
Grounder to second, play at first, and Stilson's called out. But Trig Jensen able to advance to second. Now Wade Stilson up to bat from the left side of the plate. Stilson and Stilson, they're cousins, both seniors for Emery. Mason leads off, and then Wade comes second in the order. First pitch misses outside, ball, 1-0 count. Catcher loses a little control of that one. Again, Jensen misses his target outside, 2-0 count.
And for Wade Stilson, his first at bat in the first inning came out swinging, and it looks like they're just going to intentionally put him on after falling to a 2-0 count. Not going to continue that at bat, just let him have the free base. Sets up a potential double play.
Cade Larson comes up to the plate. Cade Larson, one of the 4 Emery Spartans on the year to hit a home run. But watches the first. First pitch strike.
It kind of an interesting decision there, just letting him have that free bag. It's one of those, once you find yourself down in a 2-0 count, you saw already what he did in the first at-bat of rocking a single into the outfield. And so they knew that he had the power. And in order, once you get into a 2-0 count, typically you're going to find yourself throwing something just over the plate, making sure you're getting a strike. But they didn't want to give him anything that he could really get a hold of. And so just opting to just give him that free bag and, again, set up a potential double play here that could get you out of this little mini jam that they find themselves in early.
The count is king in baseball, and sometimes when you find yourself behind, you can just seed it and work on to the next batter. Jensen finds himself behind on the count yet again against Larson. It's the dirt on the outside. 2-1. Larson makes contact, and it bounces, and it gets past the left fielder. We have 1 run will definitely score, and Stilson's hot on his heels. 2 will score. Is it going to be a triple? And he's safe at third. Larson with the wheels to make it all the way around. And Jensen allows the first 2 runs to score. Emery takes the 2-0 lead.
Again, you mentioned in that first inning all three of the the three outs that were recorded there in the top of the first, all on strikeouts. And so ever since that first inning, Jensen, he got the 3 strikeouts early, but ever since he's had a hard time of kind of getting the put away pitches. He's gotten a couple, 0-2 counts, couple full counts. He gets to that 2-strike pitch a lot, hasn't had the put away stuff. And so ever since that first inning, you've seen this Emery ball club. They've started to kind of really start piecing together these good, strong at-bats, stringing them together, getting a lot of contact. And now this inning starting to get a couple that they're putting into play.
Gilbert's at the plate for Emery, and it's a 1-0 count. Still just 1 out, and now you have a pinch runner on third for them. That's Overson. Good contact, but flies out of the play area. Yeah, Trevin Gilbert. Gilbert's swinging, bounces it to third. Nice throw and out at first. Overson stays, and so with 2 outs, still a runner in scoring position. And Chris Jansen's up to bat.
That's great base running there from the pinch runner over on third base. A lot of times, oftentimes a lot of those runners are very guilty, and it's just as soon as there's contact of just kind of going from third. He did a great job of realizing that ball was bouncing straight back to the third baseman.
This time, pitch goes high. Catcher can't get to it. And Overson, with the wheels, slides in and steals home. 3-0 Spartans. Another pitch high by Jackson Jensen. 2-0 count, 2 outs, and now the bases are all empty because everyone's come home. Chris Jansen still at bat and now has the advantage of 3-0 count. Jensen walked his first man this inning and then an intentional walk this inning, and that one will be unintentional as he hit high on 3 out of those 4. Now the pitcher, Stoker, back up to the plate.
Really been a story here of 3 very unique and different innings that we've seen here for Canyon View. The first, obviously, talked about all the strikeouts, 3 strikeouts there to get all 3 outs in the first inning. In the second inning, there was no more strikeouts, but it was still one of those that he was giving up a lot of contact, and a lot of it was like a lot of hard hit balls too. But everything was always hit either right to an outfielder or great line drive catch by the second baseman. A couple different things here and there in that second inning. That again, just 4 batters, only 1 reached. Was able to get the 3 outs. Again, none of them through the strikeout, so a lot of it was just letting them put balls in play, having your defense have your back and record the outs. Now we're coming here to the third inning, and it's again he's not able to kind of find those strikeout pitches that he was able to have those in the first inning, and now a lot of these balls that have been put in play have either been found a hole into the outfield and have been recorded hits, and then as well as kind of he's had the full counts early in the first inning. In this inning here, he's getting a lot of those three ball at bats, and he's not able to kind of get the closeout pitches, and has walked a couple guys. Again, you mentioned two walks here in this inning, and then a third intentional walk.
Tries to get Stoker swinging on that outside first pitch that he likes, but Stoker lets it go by, and it's a 1-0 count. 1 man on, still 2 outs in the top of the third. Stoker hits this one, gets it right to second base. Shortstop picks it up, tags, and that'll retire the side. After the damage has been done, though, the Spartans now lead 3-0. We'll have the bottom of the third right after this. You're listening to 3A Baseball State Action on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Embark on your journey to radiant skin with Sam Pete Skin Bar. Whether you are looking to address specific skin concerns, kickstart your skincare routine, or simply indulge in relaxation, we've got you covered. Facials, microneedling, seasonal chemical peels, and more. Located at 210 West Main Street in Mount Pleasant, Utah. Visit our website at sanpeteskinbar.com or call or text 435-314-6024 to book your appointment today.
San Pete Steel in Moroni was founded in 1994 and is one of the major steel construction companies in the Intermountain West, specializing in structural steel fabrication and erection. San Pete Steel's impressive portfolio includes the Hale Theater in Sandy and structures on the campuses of the University of Utah, BYU, and UVU. San Pete Steel in Moroni, where their motto is done right and on time, at 685 East Main in Moroni. Call 800-261-1026, 800-261-1026, or sanpetesteel.com.
Emery took the lead in the top of the third, and now Canyon View has their turn as we get into the bottom of the third and the bottom of the lineup for Canyon View coming up. So far, it's been pretty quick. We've seen 7 of the 9 batters so far. Canyon View getting ready to come up as Stoker gets that arm warmed up after also hitting well at the plate. Coming up to plate to start off the bottom of our third is number 3 for Canyon View. It's Zach Millett. Stoker finds the zone immediately. First pitch, strike. Stoker keeps it going. Millett swings and is disappointed with himself on that one. Now down 0-2 in the count. Millett hitting .346 on the season, able to foul that one away. Has 1 home run over the course of his 69 at-bats. This one will go foul. Still behind 0-2 is Millett.
You mentioned, Millett frustrated on that second swing that he didn't get anything on that. The last 2 pitches here, he's been able to get, good job staying alive, being able to fight off the contact here.
And he's swinging away. This one will bloop, hit just before second base, but then a wild throw over to first will keep him safe at first, and Millett has reached. And the first error of the game credited on the Emery side.
I was going to mention Wade Stillson's been very active over at short in this game. He's recorded multiple outs, and he had another, one of those, wasn't ruled an error, but there was earlier in the game he had that throw that was kind of a little late, pulled the first baseman off the bag. So he's, again, recorded multiple outs, and so Canyon View hitting the ball right over to him at short a lot. And, he's probably frustrated, doing a good job of fielding the ball. Probably wants to clean up his throws over to first a little bit.
And at the bottom of the order, it's number 6, Jaron Bradshaw, that showed bunt on that first pitch, but came through for a strike, 0-1 count. Shows a little bit of a bunt again. This one's a ball. One pitch. Thought he had the bunt that time, but swung as much as you swing 2 bunts and missed. Strike 2.
If you're a fan of the old National League and in the MLB, you're kind of used to this. The 9-hitter, typically kind of bunting, trying to get the guy across. You'll see here with
gets enough contact here to get to third. They'll try to get the runner at second, and they do. First out of the inning. But Bradshaw makes it to first.
I was going to mention there with 2 strikes, typically that's when you kind of pull the button back a little bit and swing, and that's exactly what he did. And again, it seemed for a bit there was really just trying to make sure to get that runner over to second. Seems like Canyon View trying to do that same thing earlier they were doing, trying to manufacture the runs, get the runners on, and then get them over. Kind of the old small ball that you don't see a whole ton of anymore in today's MLB.
Back to the top of the order, and Ludlow is up. Stoker's first pitch to him doesn't quite catch the outside. It's ball 1. 1-0 count. And now Shadow is covering almost the entire field as Ludlow rips it into right. It's fielded. We'll get a nice throw to keep the runner at second. Now runners on first and second, 1 out. And Slack is up. Asher Slack.
Slack's first AB there in the first inning hit into a 6-4-3 double play. So again, with some runners here on first and second, only 1 out, you know that that's definitely fresh on his mind, and he's going to be real aggressive, making sure that he's swinging up and getting that ball up into the air as opposed to getting it on the ground and hitting into another double play.
Tried to check the swing halfway through, but strike 1. Emery scored 3 in the top of the third. We're now in the bottom of the third. 0-1 pitch. Fastball high. Makes it even at 1-1. Also 1 out. Runners on first and second. Another ball, make it 2-1. We mentioned the first time he was up, but Cameron Calvez is now on deck. He's the power hitter of the team, and so Slack's got to be thinking just enough to get on base. Set up bases loaded situation, but he rips a little bit more than that. Runners will go home. Little stumble in the outfield. Runner gets back over to third, but 1 run scores. And Slack gets over to second. So Slack with an RBI. And Calvez is up with runners on second and third in scoring position.
Really interesting how these two teams have kind of been mirroring each other so far in this game. Of both teams, the first time through the lineup, through the first 2 innings, kind of 3 up, 3 down. Maybe if you get an extra batter, maybe you had 4 in an inning. And then all of a sudden, once we've gotten here to this 3rd inning, as soon as it's the second time through the lineup, a lot of these guys have seen the pitcher already, and they know what they're looking for a little bit more and doing an excellent job of working counts and getting contact and turning that contact into hits as opposed to just hard outs as they were through the first 2 innings.
Calvez leads Canyon View and on-base percentage and slugging percentage and home runs and extra base hits and all sorts of stats. That's 3rd in the order and now has a situation with 2 runners in scoring position. Two-0 pitch away, hits the dirt, gets away from the catcher. Canyon View coaches think it got into the out-of-play area. The catcher snagged it just off of the dugout. We'll see what the officials rule. If it did go out of play, you give 2, which means the runner from second will be able to just trot himself home. And we've seen this in the previous game where if a ball gets into the out-of-play area, that's the case, but they'll hold the runner there. But on a wild pitch or a passed ball, 1 run did score. 3-2 is our score, and Canyon View's got that tying run standing on third.
Now on that 3-0 count, just going to give him the free base as well. Don't want to pitch to him, give him something that he can crush and bring that next runner in. And again, setting up with 1 out, once you put the first runner on to first, now you set up a potential double play and a potential inning-ending play here.
Williams comes on. Cannon Williams, a sophomore, to run for Calvez. Runners on the corner, and a lefty Number 13, Brady Anderson, is up to bat. Just one away. And first pitch, strike. Zach Main is in the on-deck circle. Stoker. A little outside, evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the bottom of the third. Where Canyon View's already scored 2, and they have a third in scoring position. Inside, catcher lost sight of it, but the ball just stayed right where it nicked number 13 in the batter's box.
Runner ended up taking second on that play, and one of those that he was taken off regardless of whether the pitch, before the pitch came in. And we saw that the last game we did a lot once you get those first and third situations, try and set up that little double steal play. So I'm sure they probably would have let him kind of have second base anyway, but got up quick thinking, if there was a chance to nab him, they were going to try, but ultimately couldn't find that ball as it sat in the batter's box and have ourselves a 3-1 count here.
And ball 3 got inside. And that pitch misses the zone as well, which loads up the bases for Zach Main. Zach Main on the season is a very even-looking 3-3-3 hitter. It's 1 every 3. 21 runs, 23 hits, 21 RBIs. And we have a meeting at the mound before this situation comes up. What'd Zach Main do his first time up in this game, David?
His first at-bat last inning. In the second inning, he led off the inning, hit a nice line drive right into right field that was caught by the right fielder. So if he's able to duplicate that, if he's able to get the same result, very possible chance he has a chance here at a sac fly here if he still has that power. The other thing worth noting in that at-bat is he did work. It was a 3-2 count. He did work the count and saw a lot of pitches. And again, as we've seen so far as this game's gone on through each of the innings, the more and more these batters are working the counts, working the at-bats. They're finding great success here. Would love to see, know what the batting average for a lot of these players is once they get this, to a full, 2-2 count, 3-2 count.
First pitch fastball just misses to the chagrin of the Emery dugout. 1-0. That'll be a strike. Even it up. Bases loaded for Zach Main. One pitch. Swing. Got a little bit of it. Foul ball strike. Stoker's seen 2 runs already cross home this inning. Trying to prevent a third. Misses high. Even count again at 2-2. Runner's getting a healthy lead off of second. Hit right to the shortstop. Gets it to second, but a little bobble. But it was in there first, and so 1 out is called. But they weren't able to turn 2, which probably was the hope with that safe of a grounder. Still, a run did cross, and we have a tie ball game at 3-3. Main gets on the board with an RBI. Now at bat, number 4, McClellan. McClellan hits it right to third. The throw to first is in time. And that will retire the sides. Tie ball game yet again. Both teams score 3 in the third inning. And we'll be back with the top of the fourth right after this. You're listening to 3A Tournament Baseball on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Are you a new CDL license holder? If so, Barney Trucking would like to train and pay you to become a world-class truck driver on state-of-the-art equipment. They also provide you with reliable, courteous support, a fantastic wage, paid holidays, solid benefits, home daily schedules, paid time off, an excellent safety record, and respect. Dependable truck drivers have been Barney Trucking's #1 investment since 1947. Start your outstanding career by applying today at barneyjobs.com. barneyjobs.com.
The Beaver Medical Clinic has built a reputation of providing compassionate health care for residents of Beaver and Iron counties. You'll appreciate the professional services of Drs. Roger Smith, Wade Oakton, Lance Smith, Rhett Smith, and nurse practitioners Wade Hollingshead, Lindsay Cheney, Robin Horton, and Joan Yardley. The Beaver Medical Clinic is a family practice offering affordable health care and convenient payment options, with offices in Beaver, Milford, and Parowan.
Top of the fourth, and the sun has retreated behind the mountains. Lights are on at Larry H. Miller Field, and the view is immaculate of these mountains. We love the setting for baseball that is Provo, Utah, and we're grateful for Brigham Young University for allowing us to play a little bit of this 3A tournament here. Reminder, as we have reminded a couple times during the broadcast, that the remainder of the tournament will be played at Slick, where the other half of this bracket was already played earlier today. This is the last game of the evening of the quarterfinals, and it is between Canyon View and Emery, all knotted up at 3 apiece. On the first pitch of the top of the fourth inning, we have a fly out to left field, and now up to bat for Emery is number 11, Alton. Jackson Jensen throws it high, ball one. Alton gets good contact there, but sends it back, foul behind him. 1-1 pitch for Jensen upcoming. Swing and a miss. 1-2 count. Talk a lot about this Emery squad that was able to upset Grantsville 9-7 in the first game that was played in the neutral site tournament. Alton swing and a miss on strike 3, and now all of a sudden 2 away for Jackson Jensen. Meanwhile, Canyon View beat Morgan 3-1 to put them in position to be here in this top side of the bracket against Emery. First pitch, strike to Trig Jensen, one of the couple lefties on the Emery squad. Jensen swinging, that goes foul. Now all of a sudden he's down 0-2, and Jackson Jensen gets a little more leeway. And a swing and a miss for Trig Jensen. That's 1, 2, 3. Retire the side, and we'll be back with the bottom of the fourth inning. Canyon View up to bat when we get there. You're listening on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Expecting a bundle of joy? Beaver Valley Hospital's new maternity wing is your local haven for life's special deliveries. Combining cozy comfort with top-tier technology, they bring big city medical excellence to the heart of Beaver with that small-town touch Beaver Valley Hospital is known for. Their full-service community hospital is your health partner from inpatient care, emergency, surgical, maternity, physical therapy, home health, and hospice. Beaver Valley Hospital is proud to support Beaver High School.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on Team Hive. That's teamhive.live, powered by Centricom.
After a quick 1-2-3 top of the fourth inning, we're back for the bottom of the fourth inning. Canyon View up to bat as the designated home team is the 4 seed in this tournament against the 8-seeded Emery Spartans. Both teams scored 3 in the third to bring us to a 3-3 tie so far. Both teams also have 3 hits, and then you have Emery with 1 error on the scoreboard. That kind of rounds out the stats that we've seen so far. David, what else are you seeing so far out of these two teams? About a third of the way through.
I mean, the big thing that we just saw last inning there with for Jensen, for the pitcher there for Canyon View, is he did an excellent job the last inning too. Even though he gave up the 3 runs, as soon as the bases were cleared, he was a lot more kind of cleaner, a little more crisp with his delivery. And so I think for him, the key is we've seen he's had 3 good innings here where he's just not really letting anyone on base. And then even in the inning where he does give up a couple of runs, it does look like he does for the most part. He's doing a great job of just keeping the. As long as he's keeping the bases clear, he's able to pitch very effectively. He's very, efficient in what he's doing. It's as soon as a couple of those runners are getting on base, that's when all of a sudden it seems like the wheels kind of were falling off a little bit for his delivery on the mound. But that was a great bounce back inning there for Jensen there in the 4th.
I believe pitching now for Emery. We have a little bit of a change now in the 4th inning. According to my stat sheet, Bronx Olson, number 20, and his first pitch gets past the catcher. Nothing doing. David, can you confirm, is that a number 20? The Emery Spartans jerseys have a very light gold-yellow numbering on these white jerseys. And in this twilight of 8 o'clock in Utah, it's sometimes tough to really make out the numbers. So if our stat sheet and everything is correct, this would be a freshman that's listed as a catcher and an infielder. Another foul ball up the third base line for Jake Thomas of Canyon View.
See, initially I thought I was seeing number 20 as well. I think there's a chance this could be number 28, Garrett Conover,
who at least the roster does list as a pitcher. Hit out to left field is caught for the first out of this 4th inning.
Now playing number 3,
Zach Millett is up to bat. And sometimes when they make that pitching change between innings, it's tough to make out. The PA announcer can sometimes help us, and wasn't able to quite hear that either. That's a called strike on the first pitch against Millett. And then he gets Millett swinging on the next. So pitcher for Emery all of a sudden finds himself ahead 0-2 in this count. Fastball's fouled away. Count stays the same. And a swing and a miss. Ball got away, but the play's made at first. And the out counts the same. Third up to bat for Canyon View is Jaron Bradshaw in this inning. First pitch, bouncing off the brown part of the turf. 1-0 count. And the second one goes along the outside. 2-0. Now Bradshaw gets a little leniency. Up 2-0 in the count. It's a good place you want to be. High outside the zone, 3-0. Still 2 outs. That'll find the zone. Now a 3-1 pitch. Bradshaw stays through it. Bradshaw makes contact. It's high. Right fielder comes in, makes the play. That's 1, 2, 3 kind of an inning for the freshman pitcher. Comes in for the bottom of the 4th. All 3 retired, and it's a 3-3 ball game still at the 3A state tournament between Canyon View and Emery. We'll be back. You're listening on KSLSports.com or TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
I'm Dr. Brandon Beck, and I'm one of the general surgeons at Central Valley Medical Center. One of the best parts of my job as a general surgeon is to interact with a wide variety of people. And many of those people have experienced chronic conditions or painful things for many years. And there is nothing better than helping them to work through those conditions and to have an improved quality of life. I'm happy to be back in Utah at Central Valley Medical Center serving the people in our community.
Honey's Marketplace invites you to experience their refreshing variety and signature items. Honey's Marketplace features a wide selection of camping supplies, a garden nursery, and fresh floral department. Experience fresh-baked artisan breads and pastries in their bakery, and sushi made fresh every day. Get all this with hometown service you deserve. Fresh, friendly, and close to home. Honey's Marketplace, 260 East, 300 South in Kanab.
For more than 3 decades, the Intermountain Power Project has served as a model of regional energy cooperation, generating and transmitting coal-fueled electricity to a diverse group of municipal utilities and rural electric cooperatives with operations across 6 U.S. states. Now Intermountain Power is expanding its role as a regional energy hub, including utilizing renewable energy resources. Intermountain Power is proud to support and invest in our central Utah communities. Visit ipautah.com to learn more about IPP Renewed.
Back at the top of the order for the top of the 5th inning as Stilson makes good contact, but a fly out. And that will be fielded cleanly. And Jackson Jensen continues to battle through where Emery has made the pitching change. Jensen stays through this 5th inning. Next up to bat is Wade Stilson. Called strike. Now a 1-1 count. Misses on the outside, does Jensen. 2-1. That'll find the zone, even it up.
This is the third, here in the 5th inning, the third AB there for Stilson, Wade Stilson. He's 1 for 1, has a single in the 1st inning and an intentional walk and a run scored in the 3rd.
And this time he's called out at first as he grounds into the shortstop, who's able to make the play. Third in the order is Cade Larson. He's the man with 2 RBIs. And got the train rolling there in the 3rd inning. Of course, Canyon View then answered with a 3-run 3rd inning of their own. Second pitch, second ball. So 2-0 count with 2 outs on the board here in the top of the 5th. Larson hits to the shortstop. Couple hops, but a missed throw to the first baseman. And Larson will reach on the first error charged to the Canyon View Falcons.
And obviously, you don't want an error at any point, obviously, as a defense, but as a 2-out error there, it's going to extend the inning, and now it's one of those that whatever happens the rest of this inning, you always have that thought in the back of your head of, we had that inning over if it wasn't for that error on the 3rd-out throw. So, again, this is one of those that as a defense, obviously, you're going to be focused very hard on just getting the very next batter out, so you don't even have to think about that, but that is the story to watch here.
Larson comes off and the courtesy runner comes on, as what happened in the 3rd inning when he reached. Oh, 1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Trevin Gilbert. Gilbert makes his way back into the batter's box. Jackson Jensen peeks over to first, throws that fastball and catches the corner. Strikeout for Jensen to get out of that jam. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th inning. You're listening on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
At CVMC Medical Clinics, our growing team of physicians and advanced providers are shaping what rural healthcare can be. With an array of specialties available in world-class orthopedic medicine, our footprint is always expanding to ensure our personalized approach is reaching as many as possible. Familiar faces and expert knowledge, all of our locations can offer your family full-spectrum care in one place. Available in Nephi, Santaquin, and Fountain Green. CVMC is the place where healthcare is made personal.
Johnson DeMille Engineering was founded in 1982 with a simple mission: to shape the quality of life where we live, work, and play. We are proud to serve by providing clean water, increasing access to nature and recreation, protecting homes from flooding, designing safe wastewater systems, and connecting our communities. It is our goal to create a place where people want to live, work, and enjoy life. Johnson DeMille Engineering, shaping the quality of life.
3-3 ball game between the Falcons and the Spartans in this quarterfinal of the 3A state tournament. This is the top of the bracket, and so even the loser of this game will move on and continue playing tomorrow, and those games will be played at Salt Lake Community College. The field up there hosting half of this bracket today. Manti was able to have a very friendly hitters day in that ballpark, scoring 20 runs on the unsuspecting Union Cougars. Back to our matchup, 3-3 between the Falcons and the Spartans. It's the Falcons side, and it is number 5, Trenton Ludlow, that is up. Both teams start the 5th inning at the top of their order.
Ludlow finds himself 2 for 2 in this game with a pair of singles, looking for his 3rd hit here already in the 5th inning.
And that pitch goes high, and then the catcher just getting it back to the pitcher also sends it high as well. We're pretty sure the pitcher is Garrett Conover, listed as a pitcher and a freshman for the Emery Spartans. Conover had a strikeout in the 4th inning and is now back to the 5th. Gets a strike there. 2-1 count. Ludlow swinging, went all the way around, and that pitch was not particularly close to the zone, anything he should be swinging at without a golf club.
Kind of an interesting call there. The home plate umpire calls on the swing strike, didn't even appeal over to first, and then afterwards appeals. First base umpire also does agree that he swung.
And he comes back and rips it right over second base, right up the gut of the infield, and Ludlow gets on base 3 for 3 will help the batting average just a little bit.
4th hit of the game for Canyon View. Ludlow has 3 singles. The next batter up, number 1, is Asher Slack. He had the RBI double there in the 3rd inning, so he has the other hit.
Getting into that part of the lineup. Slack showed bunt. But the pitch goes high, ball 1. Canyon View's half at the bottom of the 5th. They have a runner on first, no outs so far. It's a 1-0 pitch by Conover. Slack shows bunt again. And then they try to catch a little steal from Ludlow on first, but he gets back. Pickoff play. Ludlow's still safe at first, in case anyone was checking. Conover's 2-0 pitch. Now Ludlow's trying to steal. Gets to second cleanly. The throw from the catcher is off the plate.
Interesting steal there. Kind of had a great jump and then kind of a little bit of a stunt. It didn't quite continue running through is hard, but then it's still very, very quick on the base paths, very fast. It was saved by quite a bit over at second base.
First strike to Slack in this at-bat. Makes it a 3-1 count, but still a great hitter's count. Ludlow's got him scared back there, and then Slack calls for a time. Gets back into the box. Ludlow with a healthy lead off second. Pitch in, ball fouled back. Hits a pole and gets a fan a little souvenir. Full count. They tried a little pickoff, almost got by the second baseman, but Ludlow got back just fine, and second baseman fielded it. It's been a long at-bat for Slack. He's seen Ludlow go from first to second and fouled one away. Now it's full. This gets outside. Catcher can't bring it in. And Slack already started moving towards first. He's going to be caught in a little bit of a pickle, but now safe at home is Ludlow. And Slack started moving to first because he knew he had the ball 4 call, but the ball got away from the catcher, and Slack just kept his momentum going. Could have gotten caught at second, but then the play happened at the home plate that they needed to get down to, and still were too late to catch Ludlow. No outs.
Set play there for Slack, as we've seen this a couple times in our first game we were doing, kind of that first and third, kind of the double steal situation. You could see on that, as soon as he took off for first, he instantly turned.
Ball bounces off the inside. Again, Slack late getting off his bag to just wait and make sure the play goes to first, and then Slack's able to get over to third.
Again, going back to Slack, as soon as he took that walk, as soon as he got to first, he rounded that as hard as he could, stopped about midway, but in between first and second, was willing to get tagged out there because he knew as soon as he rounded that, as soon as the throw goes out to him, then the runner from third was going to break home. That's exactly what happened. The throw then goes
Field
home.
Couldn't get either one of them.
And the throw just a little bit late, and then he ends up getting second base anyway. So executed to perfection there for Canyon View. Finds themselves up 4-3 with that extra run.
And now with 1 out and an advanced Slack to third, now up to bat is Brady Anderson. Canyon View now leads 4-3 with that extra run so far. Anderson got a piece of it, puts himself at 0-2. Swinging right into the second baseman. Play at home is going to be tagged easily. Anderson gets to first, though, and still only 2 outs. A lot of effort for Slack to get around the bases for that to be the way it ends.
I think I mentioned that earlier in the game. There was a play where the ball was hit pretty hard down that third baseline, and runner, great, kind of discipline, making sure to not just instantly go on contact. That's an example there. As soon as that ball was hit, especially since it was kind of hit away from the third baseline over to second base, runner instantly ran, just didn't get quite good enough of a jump and not quite fast enough to beat that arm and that throw home.
First pitch to Zach Main is a ball. Now a 1-0 count with 2 outs. Canyon View added 1 to their total. It's a 4-3 ball game on 4 hits.
Zach Main finds himself 0 for 2 tonight on a line drive out and a fielder's choice, reaching in the 3rd inning.
That'll be a strike on the outside. You do credit Maine, I believe, with the RBI, though, on that fielder's choice that he hit into. Drove 1 home. Conover. Inside, Maine will watch it go. Now a 3-1 count. Runner on first, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Tried the pick off at first. Keep Anderson honest. Ball 4. Maine gets on. And Chandler McClellan comes up with runners on first and second. Still 2 outs in this 4-3 ball game. Canyon View leads. Swinging on that first pitch he sees. Gets to center. Center fielder waves everyone off. Gets it and retires the side. Not before Canyon View got 1 more to their total, and Canyon View Falcons lead now 4-3. The 4 seed over the 8 seeded Emery Spartans in this 3A state tournament. We'll be back with the 6th inning right after this. You're listening on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
It all starts with a Chevy truck. Chevy Silverado with the Turbo Max engine and best-in-class standard torque. And Chevy Silverado HD with up to 14 available camera views. Do more in a Chevy truck. Get yours now.
You get $5,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Embark on your journey to radiant skin with Sam Pete Skin Bar. Whether you are looking to address specific skin concerns, kickstart your skincare routine, or simply indulge in relaxation, we've got you covered. Facials, microneedling, seasonal chemical peels, and more. Located at 210 West Main Street in Mount Pleasant, Utah. Visit our website at sampeteskinbar.com or call or text 435-314-6024 to book your appointment today.
Jackson Jensen still out on the mound for the top of the 6th inning. Canyon View added 1 more in the bottom of the 5th to make it a 4-3 ball game. Emery looks to knot things back up. Jackson Jensen's had a pretty good day at the mound, already 6 strikeouts. Just a couple walks, and then you have that intentional walk that each pitcher has given to set things up for their defense behind them. First pitch, inside and called strike. Up against Hayden Christiansen. Two pitches, 2 strikes already early in the top of the 6th. And Jensen's had a couple of these when he locks in. It's tough to see him go by. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Make it 7 strikeouts for Jackson Jensen through 5 1/3.
Of the last 8 batters faced, he's recorded 7 outs. The only person to reach was on that throwing error. So he, as far as what he's been doing ever since giving up that big 3rd inning where he gave up 3 runs, he's really locked in on the mound.
Turner Stoker, the opposing starting pitcher, has been replaced on the mound, but is still at the plate. Swinging on that one and missing. All of a sudden, Jackson Jensen starts off 0-2 on this one. Already 1 away. High and in for the first ball thrown of the inning. One-two pitch to Turner Stoker. Again, top side of the zone, and even count now at 2 apiece. Stoker thought about swinging, but ball fell outside the zone, and we have a full count. Credit Stoker's eye, battling back here. No runners on, 1 out. Top of the 6th, and a fastball right down Broadway. Jackson Jensen, 2nd strikeout of the inning, 2 away.
2nd strikeout of the inning. It's the 8th strikeout for the game here for Jensen. He's really been, again, he's had a couple of these innings where it just seems like he is so locked in, and you can tell he's one of those pitchers that he's bringing a lot of energy to the mound as well. And with each additional strikeout, he's getting more and more fired up.
Abrams at bat. He's swinging on the first one he sees, gets right to center, caught, 3 up, 3 down, and Canyon View comes back at the plate. Right after this, you're listening to 3A State baseball tournament action on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Since 1947, Barney Trucking has built a reputation of unparalleled customer service and satisfaction in the trucking industry. Barney Trucking is now hiring drivers statewide, including Beaver, Millard, Sevier, Sanpete, Juab, Carbon, Emery, Utah, and Salt Lake counties, as well as many other locations. The job includes a home daily schedule, excellent pay, benefits, training, retirement, a positive work environment, and requires a Class A CDL license with doubles endorsement. To apply, go to barneyjobs.com. That's barneyjobs.com.
The Beaver Medical Clinic has built a reputation of providing compassionate health care for residents of Beaver and Iron counties. You'll appreciate the professional services of Drs. Roger Smith, Wade Oakton, Lance Smith, Rhett Smith, and nurse practitioners Wade Hollingshead, Lindsay Cheney, Robin Horton, and Joan Yardley. The Beaver Medical Clinic is a family practice offering affordable health care and convenient payment options, with offices in Beaver, Milford, and Parowan.
Quick top of the 6th, and now we're into the bottom of the 6th. Canyon View comes up to bat with a 4-3 lead in the quarterfinal game. We have a new pitcher again on the mound for the Emery Spartans, 3rd pitcher of the ball game, and this will be number 24, Trig Jensen. Also already seen Jensen at bat as a utility man at the bottom of the order for most of this game, and now he gets his turn on the mound in a relief effort with 2 more innings to go. Remember, high school ball, 7 innings of baseball. That's all we got. So just 2 more innings for the Canyon View Falcons, who lead right now 4-2-3 on 4 runs, 1 error. Jensen getting ready. First pitch outside. First batter for Canyon View will be Jake Thomas at the plate. Jensen, the righty, throwing to the righty. Fouled behind. 1-1 count.
So far this game, Jake Thomas 0 for 2 at the plate, a strikeout in the second inning and a line drive out in the fourth.
This pitch hits the dirt. 2-1 count. Both pitchers that we've seen so far, Stoker and Conover, have 1 strikeout apiece. So now it's Trick Jensen's turn, right? Catches the outside corner. 2-2 count. Inside of the zone, and that'll count. What'd I tell you, David? Jensen comes on and strikes out his first batter. 3 strikeouts on the game for Emery pitchers, 1 by each pitcher that we have seen. Next up to bat is Zach Millett for Canyon View.
As we see the first pitch outside, 1-0 count. And again, that's a very tough way to pitch a game there, is if each pitcher is only getting 1 strikeout. You're getting a lot of balls put into play, and again, that works as long as your defense is backing you up and is getting those plays, and if that's the kind of the style of pitching you are. But again, that just puts a lot of extra stress on the infielders, on the outfielders, just making sure that they're recording those outs for you if you're not necessarily the strikeout guy.
Millett, good contact, driving the outfielders back, but caught for the second out of the 6th inning.
Saying so far through the 2 games we've done so far tonight, that's been probably the hardest hit and the furthest hit out there into right field. And so great job tracking that down in right field. And again, we've had a lot of these where some of these feel like they're crushed and they're hit really hard. But again, with this being probably the biggest field a lot of these kids have played on, sometimes when some of these hits seems like they're absolutely crushing it, and then you see it's kind of dying about midway through the outfield. Again, we talk about through the 2 games we've seen so far, that's the one that's definitely carried the most. So great play out and right, recording that out.
Altitude can only get you so far when the center field wall's 402 away from you. And we're getting a little lineup change from Canyon View. Number 23 stretching and coming up to the batter's box. That's Kaysen Stoker, the sophomore. Thought about a check on that first swing, but might not have mattered. Right in the zone. Strike 1. Jensen's high on the second pitch of the at-bat. Even up the count, 1-1. 2 outs for Emery so far. Get a new catcher, just tosses something over to his dugout. Gets Stoker to duck there as Jensen gets a little wild. 2-1 count. Canyon View with the lead. Trick Jensen dirts that one. Now 3-1 count. Stoker makes contact Bounces out into the field, and Stoker will turn, get towards 2. This ball gets all the way to the wall. It's on the warning track. They'll have to throw it in. Cut off. Misses. And Stoker with a triple on just a misplayed ball in the outfield. Teammates excited for the young man. Kason Stoker, senior, able to turn it into a triple, and that'll get us to the top of the order. We get a courtesy runner in and give Stoker a little bit of a standing ovation by the Canyon View fans. Jaron Bradshaw comes in to run for him, and it's Ludlow that gets into the batter's box. So you'll tack on one more error at least, but then to turn 1 into 3, hard dedicated running.
And now with the runner at third comes up the man Ludlow, 3 for 3, 3 singles.
Swinging on that first one, but it's foul. First ball. It's a 1-1 count. Having some scoreboard difficulties in the stadium, but it's a 1-1 count with 2 outs. Ludlow's swinging, but that'll die foul. Catcher goes out to have a short conversation with his pitcher. Jensen's had a good little start to this relief effort, with a fielding error excluded. One-two pitch upcoming. Outside. Ludlow's got the discipline. Now a 2-2 count. Exactly what you want out of the top of your order. Your leadoff hitter is to get on base, and that's what Ludlow's given him so far in this game all season long. Ludlow swinging here, but it pops up. 3 different Emery Spartans are going to have a chance at it. Second baseman comes home with it, and that'll retire the side. Leave 1 runner on, do the Falcons, and they still have a 4-3 lead as we head into the 7th and final inning. Emery's got 1 more shot to see if they can bring this back and stay in the winner's half of the bracket in the 3A state tournament. Canyon View versus Emery, 4-3 ball game. We'll be back with the final inning of play on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Expecting a bundle of joy? Beaver Valley Hospital's new maternity wing is your local haven for life's special deliveries. Combining cozy comfort with top-tier technology, they bring big city medical excellence to the heart of Beaver with that small-town touch Beaver Valley Hospital is known for. Their full-service community hospital is your health partner from inpatient care, emergency, surgical, maternity, physical therapy, home health, and hospice. Beaver Valley Hospital is proud to support Beaver High School.
My parents know nothing about gaming. I told them we needed Centricom Fiber because it's by far the fastest and most reliable internet speeds.
Hey bud, dinner's ready. Time to turn off the game box.
Alright, this round's almost over.
These days, kids do a lot of their homework online. They talk to their teachers, they receive assignments, and they do research, all from our kitchen table. That's why I chose Centricom Fiber Internet. They have the fastest and most reliable connection, so my kids can stay on top of their schoolwork.
Jackson Jensen has 8 strikeouts on this game, and he's going for the complete game as he's still out on the mound. 96 is his pitch count so far. We got to keep our eyes on that because the max at the high school level as of the UHSAA is 110. So if he can do this quickly, and Canyon View just needs to retire this side, and game over because Canyon View still leads. 4-3 is your score. Top of the 7th inning, Emery's up. First pitch strike, that's how you got to start off. Up to bat for Emery is Peyton Alton. Swinging and missing. 0-1 pitch. Swinging and missing again. Now 0-2. What's Alton done for Emery in his first few at-bats?
He is 0 for 2 with a flyout in the second inning and a strikeout in the fourth. So looking to reach base for the first time and maybe spark something.
Unfortunately, Jensen, he is at the staring side of the 9th strikeout by Jackson Jensen, and he's able to do this again for his own complete game future in just 4 pitches. Now just getting to the 100 mark. Trig Jensen, who's come in to pitch, has been 9th in your order all game. Bats lefty, and he's in. Takes ball 1. And we'll watch ball 2 fly by the catcher as well. Jensen at pitch number 102, maybe starting to lose a little bit of control on that speed, but puts everything into that fastball and gets Trig Jensen swinging. 2-1's your count. That one a little high. Ball 3. Jensen has walked 3, one of those being an intentional walk, though. Fastball, and Jensen swinging. 3-2. And if he can get to that last batter before his 110th pitch, he's got the green light to go for it. Strike out. And here we go. The first 2 have been retired. Mason Stilson is up at the top of the order. And Jackson Jensen is pursuing a complete game, but probably more important for him, another step closer to the state tournament. Fastball. Stilson caught looking. 0-1 count. Jensen. 2 pitches, 2 strikes on the top of the order, Stilson. And here we go. Canyon View's got the lead, 4-3. There's already 2 outs. Here, 2 strikes for Jackson Jensen to send him home. Putting everything he had into it. 3rd strike. Gets away, caught it first, and Canyon View moves on. In this quarterfinal game, final score 4-3 over the 8th seeded Emery Spartans. Emery's tournament run is not done. They will go up against Morgan tomorrow, but this Canyon View team now has a chance to take a break and await the winner of that game. That's how the double elimination tournament will work. All of those future games being played, of course, at Salt Lake Community College. We will take one more short break and come back with final stats from this one, finishing right at 9:01 p.m. Utah time. Grateful to have you with us for all of this 3A tournament action today. Again, we'll be back with one more segment of post-game, and then say adieu from Larry H. Miller Field at BYU. You're listening to the 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.